What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and today I wanted to talk about new Overwatch heroes, particularly new heroes who utilize drones. Now, a drone-based hero is something that people have been speculating about since the beginning. There have been countless fan-made hero concepts involving drones, but with the recent reveal of the mecha pilot Overlord, who, as I discussed in one of my previous videos, apparently utilizes drones with his mech, the idea of a drone-based hero has been on my mind a lot lately. So I wanted to make this video to share some ideas regarding drones in general and look at what kinds of heroes could be made with this mechanic in mind. If you end up enjoying this video, then be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, but otherwise, let's jump right on in. Now, considering drones in their simplest form as a mechanic in Overwatch, there are a couple basic functions which come to mind. The first of these is simply dealing damage. Equipped with some kind of small weapon, drones can be sent to attack an enemy or possibly even stand sentry in an area and attack anything that enters their range, much like Symmetra's and Torbjorn's turrets. Their damage output would likely be low, but might be ideal for finishing off retreating heroes who are low on health, or serving as a pesky distraction during a team fight. A pretty basic purpose, but one that could possibly be used in creative ways. The respawn and max deployment numbers of drones would have to depend on the specific hero's kit, but I really doubt we'll ever see a hero capable of spawning more than about 4 at a time. Having a lot of little AI bots buzzing around could really be a strain when we're talking about what's feasible for the player's computer, especially while in no limits with 12 heroes and 48 active drones. The second main function of a drone would be that of healing teammates. While Zenyatta's Harmony Orb is already very similar to what we might expect from a healing drone, they may be able to function with a bit more independence than simply single target assignments. Once deployed, the drones could fly to whichever allies on the battlefield need healing, and then automatically reassign themselves to a new teammate once their original target is at full health. The player may have an option to designate specific targets for it to support, but otherwise, without player intervention, it would act autonomously. This might be a bit difficult when it comes to coding the AI to work efficiently, but I'm sure Blizzard could manage something. Anyways, now that I've talked about some of the basic functions of drones specifically, what kind of hero kits might we see that would feature them? To start, let's look at a drone support hero. The main purpose of their drones would be what I suggested earlier, where it provides healing to whichever target it's been assigned. In order to differentiate it a bit from Zenyatta's ability, it might heal in bursts instead of consistently, and would have to be visually different enough from the Harmony Orb so that enemies would have a fair chance of properly identifying it. Regardless though of whether or not the drone's capable of assigning itself to a new ally once its original target is fully healed, the player would need to have something to actively be doing outside of the drone in order to make the hero actually engaging to play. Zenyatta has his Discord and Destruction Orbs, which are what make him a strong DPS support hybrid, so I'm thinking that this drone support could be the primary healer version of Zenyatta, and the main task for the player would be managing multiple drones to sustain your team. The hero would still need to have a primary weapon of some kind in order to protect themselves at least a little bit, but like Mercy, the vast majority of their kit would revolve around healing and supporting. Therefore, I suspect that they'd have up to 3 or 4 drones they can deploy at a time, with a deployment recharge system similar to Symmetra and her turrets. Additionally, if multiple drones could be assigned to the same ally, this could allow for some intense single target healing, or they could be spread out to heal multiple targets at once. Either way, the player would also have to be aware of the drone's survivability, as they could presumably be destroyed by the enemy. As for an ultimate, most primary healers give immense sustain to 1 or more teammates, so I could see this support hero's ult affecting the drones specifically, and might give them a number of buffs. First off, they'd either get a health buff or become flat out invincible for the ult's duration, in addition to temporarily providing stronger healing, possibly upgraded to being AoE healing around each drone in order to have a bigger impact on your whole team. Also, the drones could possibly provide both healing and a damage boost during the ultimate. That might be a bit strong, so it'd probably be either AoE healing or damage boost, but not both. Now admittedly, this hero concept is far from perfect or balanced, and really it's just a culmination of ideas. Perhaps I'll revisit this concept later on with more details, but for now I want to talk about my second drone hero concept, and this time it's a DPS. As I talked about before, the primary role of this hero's drones would be to deal damage, but there are a few methods of doing doing this, which could make for a really fun and interesting character. For example, while I gave the drone support concept only a simple primary weapon, I think that drones for the DPS hero wouldn't necessarily be their sole source of dealing damage, and could be complemented really well by whatever the hero's primary weapon is. Given that drones are remotely operated, the hero would probably function best at longer ranges. Maybe not so much as to be considered a sniper, but more so along the lines of McCree or Soldier 76. The primary weapon could be some kind of repeater rifle, similar to Ana's, which has a small clip and is capable of dealing decent damage. But the rifle could also have some kind of laser attached to it, which is what allows the player to ping enemies for your drones to target. There may be some way to designate how many drones attack each target, possibly by pinging the same enemy multiple times. The drones themselves may engage the enemy by loosely orbiting them. They would need to be positioned in such a way that they could actually be shot at by the targeted hero. Otherwise, they'd just be really frustrating to fight against. Also, much like Hanzo's sonic arrow, they may have the ability to reveal enemies within a short radius around themselves, thus giving them a bit more utility. Another use the drones may have is the ability to kamikaze dive bomb their target, dealing a fair amount of AoE damage on impact. This could be used to great effect when targeting grouped up enemies, as the damage would hit multiple people. The downside of this ability is that it would destroy all your drones, thus causing a delay before you can have them all deployed and active again. It may also have a long ability cooldown in order to prevent the constant spamming of it. The kamikaze ability will be high risk, high reward, as mistiming it could waste your drones or easily give immense charge to an enemy Zarya, but at the same time, it'd make the drones themselves a bit more threatening and thus higher priority targets to deal with. As for the ultimate ability, once again, I'm not too sure. I could see this possibly being the kamikaze ability, although I think it would need to have something more on top of that to make it feel a bit more epic. Maybe instead of directly affecting the normal drones, the hero would deploy a number of specialized seeker drones, which function like homing rockets and chase down either the nearest targets or whoever the player pings, dealing massive AoE damage upon impact. As I said before though, having too many entities active at a time could be problematic for running the game, but depending on how these seeker drones would work exactly, I think Blizzard could find a way for them to exist without taking up too many resources. While I admit that this DPS drone hero concept is even less fleshed out than the support one, which itself wasn't very fleshed out, the point of these are to be basic concepts. I of course haven't touched on things like health pools, cooldowns, or exact abilities, but those all feel like secondary concerns that more so affect balance, and thus aren't really worth focusing on until after the hero's base kit is established. I will mention though that I actually have a third drone hero concept, this one specifically for Overlord, who after all is the whole reason I've even been discussing the drone hero concept. However, given how complex that concept has become, I decided to save it for its own separate video, which will not only give me more time to flesh it out, but also keep this video from becoming ridiculously long and convoluted. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you don't want to miss that video, which will be coming out sometime soon. But in the meantime, let me know what your thoughts are on the idea of an Overwatch drone hero. Do you have any further ideas to expand on or refine the concepts I talked about in this video? Or do you have ideas that are completely different? Either way, I'd love to hear them down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit the bell to keep up with all my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.